Mr. Chairman, Mr. Brady, members of the subcommittee, thank you very much, and thank you for your forbearance in having the NAM have to change witnesses at the last moment. I'm a poor substitute, but I'll do the best I can. You know, these customs issues are extremely important to the NAM. We are the nation's largest industrial trade association with large and small companies just all over the country. We also are the secretariat for the Customs and Border Coalition, which is a group of 50 trade associations and 150 companies that have come together to be the focal point and liaison with the administration and with the Congress. But I have to be honest and say that for quite some time now we've had a difficult time in working with CBP. We have not felt welcome. We have not felt that trade facilitation has had an equal bearing with enforcement. Let me get this cup here. And that there hasn't been the balance between security and trade facilitation, which is needed. Let me say, though, that we now see the promise of change. You know, Secretary Napolitano was a border state governor. She understands trade. She gets it. Governor Engler, our president, has met with her, and she understands the need for balance. And we all heard Commissioner Burson say that there's a new era, that he wants to work with business. And I can tell you already, he's putting his money where his mouth is, because he's already met with Governor Engler and heads of other associations and told us, you know, where's the low-hanging fruit? Where are your problems? What can we do? He can't promise he's going to do everything we want, he said, but he can promise that we're going to get the attention that we want. So we appreciate this new approach, but we think that some legislative fixes are needed as well. First of all, in terms of the increased coordination, we think it would be helpful if legislation were really to contain some mandates for that. We've had some very frustrating experiences in the past. Our experience with the so-called 10+2 rule in the previous administration really stands out. Our concerns have not always gotten the attention that they've needed, and there's not been enough interagency coordination. CBP has frequently gone to the other trade agencies, Treasury, Commerce, State, USTR, etc., too late, and we think that legislation should address that. But secondly, much more needs to be done to separate low-risk shippers from high-risk shippers. You know, the CTPAT and other programs were designed on that basis, but the new programs, 10+2, the Lacey Act, others, it's one size fits all. Now, for example, nearly 80%, 8 out of every $10 of everything we import from Japan is intra-company trade. The same representatives of the same company pack the containers, lock the doors, and unlock them in the United States. That is not high-risk trade, and to be treated the same with the same kind of cost of an unknown shipper nobody's ever heard of before is just not the right way to go. You know, fixing that would speed up the flow of trade, would make us more competitive, and it would allow CBP to focus its resources more on the high-risk shippers. Third, we want to have legislative language that will fix a problem that's already been raised, and that is that CBP General Counsel in 2008 decided that customs officers could not provide the shipping packaging information to rights holders. And this has, we believe, severely impacted the interception of counterfeit goods to no one's benefit. You know, for example, if the customs officer could contact the rights holder, give the information that's on the package, and the manufacturer may say, yeah, you know, the label looks realistic, but the code number, the lot number is inconsistent with the date of manufacture, etc. It's very important information, and it's going to need a legislative fix, so we certainly hope that this subcommittee will do that in the Customs Reauthorization Act. Fourth, on the enforcement side, there's a real problem with increasing circumvention of anti-dumping and countervailing duty orders. We've had our member companies that manufacture coat hangers, bed springs, say that, you know, they have successfully gotten orders against Chinese goods that were being dumped or that were being subsidized. Suddenly they're showing up from Taiwan or Hong Kong. The strange thing is there are no factories that manufacture those products in those areas. In some cases, CBP and ICE have been provided information, emails from Chinese companies saying, dumping, no problem, we'll just mark it through Hong Kong, or you can take Taiwan or Malaysia, you know, your choice. This is outrageous, but for whatever reason, CBP, ICE, and Commerce just can't seem to get their arms around this, and this has been going on in at least one instance for well over a year and needs to be addressed. So, Mr. Chairman, those are just some of the priorities that we have. We greatly appreciate your interest, the subcommittee's interest, in trade facilitation. It's terribly important both for our imports and for our competitiveness and therefore our exports. So the NAM greatly appreciates this opportunity to be with you and looks forward to working with you and your staffs. Thank you.